tell you about a case that we used to call Reflections of Evil. It was like something ripped straight out of a twisted fairy tale, only there were no happy endings, just a trail of shattered lives and shattered glass. It started like that. A woman found dead in her apartment, no signs of forced entry, no signs of struggle, just her, sitting in front of a mirror, her reflection contorted into a silent scream. I arrived on the scene, my stomach churning with a mix of coffee and anticipation. The room was a frigid tomb, the air so cold it could freeze the balls off a brass monkey. She was beautiful, or at least she had been before whatever horror she'd seen in that godforsaken mirror had scared her to death. The boys in blue were whispering about curses and witchcraft, but I wasn't buying it. I believed in cold, hard facts, not fairy tales. But then it happened again. Another victim, another mirror, another face twisted in terror. And another, until the city was gripped in a panic that I couldn't quell with bullets or bravado. I hit the streets, pounding the pavement, shaking down every two-bit crook and psychic charlatan I could find. But they all came up empty, just a bunch of scared shitless folks who knew as much as I did. Jack squat. The break came when I found her, a little old lady living in a rundown tenement, her eyes clouded with cataracts, but her mind sharp as a tack. She spoke of an ancient mirror, one that showed not your reflection but your soul, and the evil that lurked within. I thought she was batshit crazy, but I was desperate. She led me to an antique shop, the kind of place that smelled of mothballs and broken dreams. The owner, a wiry man with a face like a weasel, denied knowing anything about a cursed mirror. But I saw the lie in his eyes, and I pressed him until he cracked. He told me a tale of a mirror, crafted by a madman, that had been passed down through the ages, leaving a wake of death in its wake. He'd sold it to a woman, the first victim, and from there, the curse had spread like wildfire. I tracked down the mirror, following the chain of ownership, each link a story of horror and madness. The mirror was like a cancer, feeding on fear and spitting out death. I found it in a pawn shop, sitting innocently among the detritus of broken lives. I didn't see my reflection when I looked into it. I saw something else, something dark and writhing, a shadow that gnawed at the edge of my sanity. I felt a pull, a whisper in my mind, urging me to give in to the darkness. But I'm no one's victim. I drew my gun and put a bullet through the glass, shattering the mirror and the shadow with it. The silence that followed was deafening, the curse lifted, the city's reflection restored to normal. The case was closed, but the scars remained. I spend my days now looking out over the city, wondering if the evil was truly gone or just waiting for the next reflection to show its ugly face. So, if you ever find yourself staring into a mirror, and the face staring back isn't quite your own, remember the tale of the reflections of evil. And whatever you do, don't look too deep, or you might not like what looks back.